All right, so it's holiday season, and this, of course, is the best time to get yourself a rib roast. I know Giant, I know Martin's, and all the different stores and stuff will have them on sale for like $5.99, $6.99 a pound. And look at this, we've got a 6-pound roast here. We're gonna smoke this actually on our grill. Now what we're gonna do is, I've got a stick of butter here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a glaze for this that'll turn into a nice crust. I have the last of my thyme that's grown, and it's literally dried on the vine here. We're going to pull that off of there. We're going to put that in there. Fortunately, I don't have much of it left, but it has an incredible flavor. I always try and say, if you can, grow your own or use fresh, because the flavors are so much more intense that way. Try not to get these stalks in there, those stalks out. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some coarse salt. We're going to grind plenty of pepper to go in there. And we're going to add our spices. And with this butter that's just kind of room temperature, so it's soft, but it's not runny. You don't want to melt it in the microwave and then it's too soft. We want this to be kind of thick going in there, because all of these herbs and spices will give it a great flavor. And we've got some garlic we're going to chop up and mince in there with the salt and the pepper and stuff. That flavor will be great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our smoker. I don't have a true smoker, but I'm using my Weber Genesis grill, which I've been smoking salmon in there. I've been doing reverse seared steaks and stuff in there. I have a smoke box. So we got our rosemary in there, excuse me, our thyme in there. I've got a smoke box that I put underneath of it, so it's indirect smoke, and we can get the temperature in there right about 250. 235 to 250 is perfect. We're going to mince up our garlic, and we'll put our thermometer inside of it. So we want the internal temperature to get to 100 degrees. And then we're going to take it off and we're going to let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we're going to turn the grill all the way up. Try and get that thing to about 600 degrees. And in the same way, when I reverse sear a steak, you're basically doing the same thing, because a rib roast is basically a ribeye steak, just it's the whole thing not cut up. And you want to get this, I like it medium rare, so you want to take it off about 10 degrees before your internal temperature. Now what I have, Miss Tracy,
yeah.
Can you reach across the aisle there and grab that setup right there?
What setup?
That pan with the rack on it, just so I can show everybody. So here's what I have. I have this, it's a foil pan that I'm going to put in there, and I have that rack right there that I got from Ace Hardware that'll keep it up off of the bottom of it. So that'll allow the smoke to be able to flow through it, and all, but it'll let the juice be able to stay in there, because we'll use that juice, excuse me, we'll use that juice to make ourselves an au jus. That'll be full of flavor. Because look at that, you got your garlic, you got your rosemary, you gotta get your thyme in there. Time after time. We're gonna put some rosemary in there. We're gonna put some more thyme. Time after time. If you're lost, and I will find it. Time after time. Okay. All right, and my wife has coarse salt in these containers here with a little baby spoon, because you're not supposed to use a lot of salt. But we're going to use quite a bit of it in here because we want to make a crust. Okay, and now we're going to put our pepper. I'm going to take a spoon. And we're going to mash it all together with the butter. And I'm getting a call. and still grinding. Okay, so you see, we got our butter, we got our garlic, we got our rosemary, we got our thyme after thyme, we got our salt, and we have our pepper. And we're just going to mash this up, because what we're going to do is we're going to put this all on the roast. And so what this will do is it'll get smoked into it. Taste of it. A little more pepper. I love the taste of the rosemary and the thyme. Thyme after thyme. This would go great actually on some bread. Oh man, some great garlic bread. Now you see we got the butter that's softened enough that we can really blend it. Okay, you grab a glove. Okay. I'm going to spread this on here and cover this bad boy. Tell me that doesn't look beautiful, guys. We're going to cook it with this side up. Now this is all going to roll. The butter's going to melt and roll into the bottom, so we'll put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan, so that way that butter will get in there and it won't burn. Now some people will make slits, and they'll put the put chunks of garlic right into the meat. I don't do that. Now what I will do though is I will salt and pepper the ends. With the garlic salt. There we go. And now we'll go ahead and get our thermometer. We'll put that into the middle of this thing. We'll get our smoker going, get it out to about 250 degrees. We'll warm up the whole thing first, and then we'll turn the heat down on it. So that way it'll be really good. Now the other thing on this too is take the meat out about a half hour, 45 minutes ahead of time, so that way it can get closer to room temperature. That way it doesn't get shocked and it will cook more even. Look at that. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, so this is my Weber Genesis grill. I love this thing. This thing has really thick, solid walls on here. You know, it's reading at 260, and you can see it's hot, but it's not hot enough that it really burns. I wouldn't do that when it's really, really hot though. Now I've got a smoke box that's on here, and I just have one burner up here. You can see the smoke coming off of here, and I'm going to put, you see my setup here. I'm going to pour about a cup of water underneath here, so that way it'll be able to get the juices in here and save it and basically steam it. You can see we got a good bit of little smoke in there. It's not a lot, but the key on this is we want this temperature to be about 250 degrees for this, and basically it's going to be about 20 minutes per pound to get it to about 100 degrees, but you definitely want to watch it. I have my thermometer right here with the probe. It actually has two probes on it, but I'll just use one probe on it. But we want to get that internal temperature to 100 degrees, and once it gets to that 100 degrees, we're going to take it off, we're going to let it rest, and we're going to turn this thing up, and we're going to get this thing to about 600, and then we're going to put it back in there to get that final sear. But to start with, we want to get this thing getting that smoke flavor and stuff inside of there. So I'm going to get ready to get this thing together. Going to let this warm up just a little bit more here to make sure our temperature is where we want it. Alrighty, good people. Now it's magic time. We're at 290 in there. We got good smoke, and we're going to put this thing right on there. We're going to get our thermometer in here, and now I'm going to go watch some football. There we go. And we're starting with the temperature of 50, which is good. That's perfect. Like I was saying, you want to start out with getting it sitting out for a little bit, so that way, get that extra butter on there. So that way it doesn't start out like cold. You want it to be about 50 degrees or so when you put it in there. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about an hour. We're up to 70 degrees right now. Let's take a peek. Okay, it's smoking. We're gonna turn this around, so that way it'll get there all the way around. That's looking good. You see the juice and stuff that's dripping in there. That's gonna make a great gravy. And our temperature right around 250. All right, I'm gonna keep. Oh my God, I wish I had smell-o-vision, because this right now, look, 100 degrees, exactly. Okay, look, 260 degrees, we've been cooking it. Oh, look at that baby. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this off. If I can get a hold of it. We're gonna take that off. Woo, that's hot. Wow, that sucker's hot. Oh, there it is. We're gonna take that off. And we are going to turn this sucker up all the way. All the way up. All the way up. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna wait a few minutes. We're gonna let this thing get super hot, and then it's going back in there. It's going back in there. It's going back for real. All right, so we've got the grill right now up to 500 degrees, and we're gonna do the final cook in here. You hear that sucker sear right there. So we wanna get this to 118 inside. You can see the crust on top of this. I have some more butter and garlic that once this is done, we will go through and put that on there and let it rest until we're ready to cut it. This thing smells unbelievable. Okay. 118, here we come. We've got this thing turned up all the way. Unfortunately, it's kind of cold out here, so I don't think we're going to get quite up to the 600 degrees that I would like to, because it's just a little bit windy and things, so it's pulling it off of it. But I'm gonna get back in here and I'll be right back. All right, so I've had to put the light on here, and you can see how that's looking. And we are at 106 degrees. So we only have only a few more. We got 12 degrees to go to get it there. All right, so we're at 120 degrees, and we're gonna take this off. Now, the truth in advertising here, the fat and the butter and stuff burned off on this and actually caught fire. So it's definitely a little bit charred on the exterior. But I'm okay with that because we're going to take and put a layer of butter on this. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Medium rare. Oh, see all that juice running out of it?